Namaste, everyone. Welcome to our third session on the Bhagavad Gita. We will be talking about the 4Ds today. So, before we do that, let us do a short invocation. Let's close our eyes, connect the tongue to the palate. Inhale slowly, exhale slowly. Let us invoke to the Supreme God, Divine Father, Divine Mother. We thank you for your priceless blessings, for divine light, divine love, divine guidance. Divine love, mercy, inner healing, physical healing. Thank you for the inner strength to practice regularly. Thank you for your divine help and protection, for illumination, for abundance and prosperity. We thank you. Let's also be aware of ourselves as a soul. I am that I am. I am not the body. I am not the emotions. I am not the thoughts. I am the soul. I am a spiritual being of divine intelligence, divine love, and divine power. I am that I am. I am one with the divine spark within me. I am a child of God. I am connected with God. I am one with all. Let's take a deep breath. Let us be aware of the Krishna consciousness within us. Let us be aware of Arjun, the seeker. And whenever you're ready, open your eyes. Okay, so the 4Ds of the Bhagavad Gita, it's not of the Bhagavad Gita per se, it's also of the Mahabharata. So let's start. So the 4Ds that we're going to talk about here is basically Duryodhan. We're going to talk about Dronacharya, we're going to talk about Drishtadum, and we're going to talk about Drupad. Okay, so these are the 4Ds that we're going to talk about. So let's plunge right in. Now, this is about the second shloka of the Bhagavad Gita, okay, where Duryodhan basically approaches Dronacharya and says a few things to him. So let's see what he says. So first, the question is, what are we talking about? So Duryodhan is represented by material desire, okay, and Dron is represented by past habits or all the habits that we have. So it represents all our samskaras. So what happens is that when Duryodhan is standing in the middle of the battlefield and now he is observing the Pandava army and getting a little nervous about it, he decides to go and consult Drona. So why does he consult Drona? Okay, now Drona represents past habit. Okay, so Duryodhan knows that our past habits, material desire within us knows that our past habits are pretty strong and they have a good hold on the entire system and they're very knowledgeable. The past habits know us really well. So he goes and talks to him. What does he say? Now, before we talk about that, let's also discuss the name Duryodhan. So Duryodhan is basically someone who is difficult to fight. Okay, so it's, as it says here, one who is difficult to counter in any way. And the translation that Paramahansa Yogananda ji has in God Talks with Arjuna is basically that Duryodhan represents material desire. So I think for most of us who have thought about this a little bit, we all know that material desire is a little difficult to get rid of, right? It's like if you desire something, then we desire something. So again, the purpose of talking about all of this is to help us understand how those things exist within us and how to overcome them. So it's a process of inner reflection, which is the purpose of doing all this that we are doing, the discussion on the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so 1.2, this is Shlok 1.2. So we turn to our old habits, which is Dron, which is also called Sanskar. When our material tendencies are threatened, then what happens is our habits, they tend to side with the Kauravas or with the vices. What does that mean? That means that if I have, let's say, for example, a bad habit of, drinking coffee, then my habit, which is Dron, is going to side with the Kauravas, which is the vice that I have of drinking. Let's say, maybe not coffee is not so bad, but some overeating, for example. Okay. Now, before the battle of the Kurukshetra, Dronacharya was the teacher of both the Pandavas and the Kauravas. Okay, but the bad habits will side. But the habits will side with the bad habits with the Kauravas at the start of the battle. So when we start out, basically the habits are going to be on the side of the on the vices. Okay, so how does this matter? Now, there's also a story in the Mahabharata about Drona and Drupad. Okay, so this, like I promised last time, this is going to be a little bit of a story version. So Drona represents the melted state of habit, which means that one thing that we have done, it exists in our system. Now, Drupad represents this dispassion or distaste for material enjoyment. So if you remember the story of Drupad and Drona, they are basically co-disciples in the same Gurukul, who happens to be Drona's father, and they are friends. Okay. So in the beginning, when the devotee, let's say people like us, when we start to go on the spiritual path, the desire to go spiritual and the habits seem to be friends. What does that mean? That means that we think that, okay, now I have this spiritual desire to, let's say, meditate or, exercise or do whatever I want to do. And we think that our spiritual desire for God, which is Drupad, is friends with Drona. Okay, Drona is our old habits. But what actually happens? So this is the third shloka where it says, Pashyam etam pandu putranam acharya mahtim chamu vyudham duryo drupad putrena tava shishyena dhimata. So what Duryodhan approaches Dronacharya, who is his habit. So the material desire approaches the bad habits and says what? Says, look at the Pandav army, which is led by the son of Drupad. Okay, so let's talk about the son of Drupad. The son of Drupad is a being that is born of fire. So we'll talk about that. Now, when habits, which is Drona, goes to ask Drupad, his friend, for what? For 2 cows. So apparently the story is that Dronacharya, who is a ascetic, he goes to ask his friend Drupad, who is a king, for what? For 2 cows to give milk to his son Ashwathama. That is the motivation. So the motivation is not that bad, right? If you want to feed your child, it's not a bad idea to go and ask a friend for a favor, right? The important thing that I would like you to be aware of here is that a small desire for 2 cows leads to a desire for an entire kingdom in Drona. Okay, so we'll talk about that. Now, Drishtadyum is an entity that is born out of fire. So why is Drishtadyum born in the first place? So what happens is that Drupad tells Drona, I'm not friends with you, you can go away. So the spiritual desire within us tells our bad habits, no, I'm not interested, go away. Okay. But what happens is that Drona retaliates, which means bad habits retaliate. They say, Acha, you're not going to give me what I want. You see what I do. What does he do? Dronacharya becomes the Acharya of the Pandavas and the Kauravas, and then later on he wages war on Drupad, who is spiritual ardor, using the Kauravas and Pandavas as the army. That's another story. Now, when he wins, so when the Pandavas and the Kauravas win the battle for Drona and get him the kingdom of Drupad, who is also Panchal Naresh, which means, so if it rings a bell for you, Panchali is his daughter, and then Draupadi becomes the wife of the Pandavas. We'll talk about that. So what happens is that Drona retaliates. So habits, they take revenge on the spiritual ardor, which is Drupad, and they make Drupad a prisoner. Okay. After making Drupad a prisoner, Drona says, bad habits say, or habits say, you take the southern kingdom, I will take the northern kingdom. Very interesting. Why would he give him the southern kingdom and keep the northern kingdom? So, the idea here is that we use the allegories of the stories to understand it from the energetic point of view, which Master Choa has taught us. So the chakras, for example, the lower chakras are the southern kingdom and the upper chakras are the northern kingdom, right? So the spiritual ardor Drupad is given back the rule of the southern kingdom, which is the lower chakras, but the north, which are the decision-making chakras, are still controlled by habit. Now, why is this so interesting? This is so interesting because if you remember, the Kundalini energy is believed to be at the base of the spine, southern chakras, at the bottom, right? At the very bottom of the spine is the Kundalini energy. Now, when Drupad is overcome, when his kingdom is taken by Dronacharya in war, he decides that he is going to avenge himself. How is he going to do it? He is going to beget a son called Drishtadyumna, who is born out of fire. Okay. Now, in this case, I've also written he's born out of anger, because initially the spiritual ardor becomes very angry and says, I'm going to get you. Now, Drishtadyumna is the one who is created by a yagna or by a fire for the purpose of destroying Dronacharya. Now, I don't know how many of us remember the story, but along with Drishtadyumna, there is another female that is born, and that female is called Draupadi. Okay, she's also called Panchali because she is the daughter of the king of Panchal, and Draupadi because she is the daughter of Drupad. Now, the very beautiful thing, interesting thing about the birth of Draupadi is that she was not desired by her father. He did not want a daughter. Okay, he wanted a son who was going to destroy Drona. But this daughter, basically, who represents the Kundalini energy, she is also born of fire. Okay? And she empowers the Pandavas at a later stage when the Kundalini rises up. Now, the Kundalini is also represented by fire. So, when the Kundalini energy rises up, or rather when Draupadi is rising up the chakras, and we talked about this earlier also, that is when the Pandavas become very, very, very powerful. Okay. Now, the point that we are trying to make here is that Drupad basically gives rise to Drishtadyumna to liberate his soul from all bondage by getting an offspring called Drishtadyumna, who will destroy Drona in the battle of the Kurukshetra, right? Now, what is the quality of Drishtadyumna? Drishtadyumna is calm inner light. He is the truth revealing intuition. He has a lot of courage. So, one thing that I would like to say is that when we are out to destroy a bad habit, we really need more courage than anything else. It's like the courage that encourages us to break a habit. So let's say, for example, I have a bad habit of, I don't know, just any bad habit, right? It's like, I need courage to break that habit. The habit needs courage to be broken. So one of the beauties I feel of the stories of the Mahabharata or of the Bhagavad Gita is that if we know the stories, when we are dealing with something in our life, we can just tell ourselves, this is my bad habit, just like Drona. Who conquered Drona? Drishtadyumna conquered Drona, or rather killed Drona in the battle of the Kurukshetra. So what does Drishtadyumna represent? Courage, calm inner light, intuition. So that is what I need to use to overcome my bad habits. Okay. Now, so again, going back to fearful of losing the kingdom, okay, Duryodhan approaches Dronacharya and says, look at the army that your disciple Drishtadyumna has produced. Now, Drishtadyumna is also a disciple of Dronacharya, which is very interesting because Dronacharya actually is the teacher of the Kauravas, the Pandavas, and of Drishtadyumna, who eventually destroys him. Very interesting. So bad habits or habits per se is a very strong controlling force in our life. Now, in the Pranic Healing School, we have all these courses which are designed to help us to slowly overcome some of our habits. Okay. So first, of course, we have the first 3 classes which help us to clean our chakras, our mental body. And then we have other workshops which go on to, helping us to achieve other things in life depending on what we want. We have the healing series, we have the prosperity series, and we have the spiritual series. Now, what I would like us to do is, if it's okay with everyone, what we will do is we will just take one habit that we want to change right now, okay? And we will put it in our mind and we are going to think of how we are going to change this habit. Okay, so think of one habit, because the whole purpose of doing all of this is to help us to reflect, to do inner reflection. So let's think of one habit that we want to change. You can make it something small. And what we're going to do is we're going to think of how we are going to change it. So let's say, for example, if someone's drinking a lot of tea or coffee. Okay, now if you drink tea or coffee, for example, it takes up at least half an hour of your time because you have to make it or you have to get it made and you have to sit there, you have to wait. So it's like, it takes up time. Now we have to think of what would we like to do with that half an hour or those couple of hours that we spend doing that thing. So let's say, for example, I'm not getting time to meditate or I'm not getting time to do a healing. Then I have to think to myself, okay, how can I get this time? Where is this time going to come from? Okay. So the reason we procrastinate sometimes is because we don't think that what we're going to do is meaningful enough. So we have to find some meaning in it. But first, let's work on the habit. So let's think of a habit that we want to change. That is the Dronacharya within us. That is the Drona within us. So anything that we do is already there in our spiritual body. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to get rid of it. How? By courage, by Drishtadum. Drishtadum is the fire that burns bad habits. Okay, so that is the way you can think about it. It's like a yagna. When we say that, God, so in a lot of the Hindu rites we have the process of doing a havan, which is where we burn things. So one of the ideas also is to burn our weaknesses. So that's why we do this. So let's make this practical. Let's think of one habit that we want to change. Close your eyes, connect the tongue to the palate, and let us think of what we're going to replace this habit with. So what would be a more appropriate thing to do? Let's say, for example, when I'm conducting a session and my family walks in, do I get irritated or do I just gently tell them, listen, I'm conducting a session. Can you, not come in between 4 and 5 o'clock, for example? Okay. So am I going to do that gently or am I going to yell at them? So just think of something that you want to change and let's think of how we are going to change it. What are we going to do? We are going to overcome Dronacharya by using the power of Drishtadum, which is courage, who is born out of fire, which sits at the base of the spine and is called the Kundalini energy, along with his sister, Draupadi. Okay, so we're putting together all the spiritual teachings and the practical application of changing our habits. So once you've decided what habit we're going to change, let's close our eyes. Let's invoke to the Supreme God, to the Lord Krishna, to the Krishna consciousness within me. I humbly offer this negative habit to you. Please help me with the inner strength to do the right thing, the right behavior, and the right action. Inhale slowly, exhale slowly. Let's feel our courage, let's feel our soul. Gently open your eyes. These 4 Ds in our life, when we get scared of losing our material kingdom, we go back to our habits. And the habits basically can be destroyed by courage. Courage comes from sometimes from the lower chakras, rising up to, like a fire. And that is when spiritual ardor is restored in our system. So if we're having difficulty meditating, some of you have been saying, I have difficulty meditating, I want to heal, but I'm not able to heal. Be aware of your habits. Let's see what habits we can change. Let's be aware of the habits that we want to let go of in this state of meditation. Let us remind ourselves of our growth as a soul. I am the soul. All these habits, they are not important. I am the soul. I am the one who can control these habits, and I'm going to do it. Let's also be gentle with ourselves. Habits may take time to change. So let's think of a habit and just tell that habit, you can go now. I can handle this myself. I am the soul. I do not need this material stuff to keep me going. I am the soul. I am in charge. Let's also take some minutes to bless ourselves. So let's be aware of our heart chakra, our crown chakra. Let's bless ourselves with the ability to think of our lives in a different way. Let's think of what we did or how many times we indulged in this habit all through the day, today or yesterday. And let's just push it far away from us. And let's think of the new habit. Let's visualize ourselves creating a new habit pattern. We are thinking the right thought. We are using the right words. We are using the right actions from our limbs. The 5 Pandavas in our spine are active and they will be victorious over Duryodhan, over Drona, over the bad habits. Let's be aware of the power of our own chakras. Inhale slowly. And as we exhale, let's visualize the battle of the Kurukshetra. The Pandavas are overcoming the bad habits, overcoming Dronacharya through Drishtadyumna. Drishtadyumna is courage, fire. Let's also visualize what life will be like once we have overcome this habit, so that we have a motivation. So let's say we're spending too much time, eating or drinking or thinking about food. How much time will it free up? What will we do with that time? Do we have a purpose? Do we have a motivation? When we have the motivation, the habit will automatically change. Or rather, it'll become easier to change the habit. Okay. With that, let's come back to our body. Let's massage the face, scalp, the neck, the shoulders, chest, the back, the hips, the thighs. Let's also take a few minutes to bless everyone affected by the COVID-19 virus, including ourselves, because everyone's life is today affected by the disruption caused by the virus. Let's bless everyone by the law of karma. Let's bless that this good karma comes back to us many, many times. Let's pray to the Buddha Kuan Yin to extract, externalize, and raise to higher vibrations any negativity related to the coronavirus from the Earth's energy body. Thank you. So do you feel like a new person after the reflection, after the decision to let go of certain habits? So that's how you'll feel. Every time we do it, we'll feel like a new person. And slowly, slowly, we will become a different person. So thank you, everyone, for joining us, and we will see you soon. So yeah, I just wanted to add that we will be putting up our videos on YouTube. So please subscribe so that you get a notification that it's online, and also share it with people, because the idea is for us to share the teachings that we have of Master Chua with other people, and to bring everyone more and more together to help us all to practice in a simple way in short sessions. And I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you soon.